Welcome to this explainer. As an evolutionary biologist, I spend my life looking at the incredible ways life adapts to its environment. But today, we're jumping right into a deeply unsettling, yet fiercely debated question. It's the kind of thing that feels straight out of a late-night science documentary. Are human beings actually native to this planet? It's a wild idea that challenges our whole understanding of who we are, and we're going to dig into the biological clues suggesting we might just be cosmic outsiders.
Okay, let's dive into this by looking at a glaring paradox. Every other species spent millions of years perfectly adapting to Earth, while we literally burn in our own sunlight. Think about it. Fish evolved gills to breathe underwater. Birds have hollow bones to soar through the sky. Polar bears grew thick, insulated fur for the freezing Arctic. Every living thing is in perfect harmony with the environment that shaped it. And then there's us. We step outside, look up at the very star giving life to this planet, and it actively damages us.
This highlights just how bizarre the human blueprint is compared to the rest of the animal kingdom. Lizards can bask in direct, scorching sunlight for hours. Dogs, cats, horses, elephants, they spend their whole lives comfortably under that exact same sun. Their fur, their scales, their pigmentation, it's all perfectly calibrated for our star. Ours, not so much. We literally had to invent a chemical paste and rub it all over our skin just to navigate the outdoors safely. From an evolutionary standpoint, that is a massive anomaly.
Section 1. The Blueprint Anomalies.
That sunscreen issue builds into a whole series of structural flaws. When 4 out of 5 humans have a spine that acts like a failing horizontal bridge, you really have to ask if our bodies were badly retrofitted. Gravity compresses our discs in ways they clearly weren't designed to handle. Then there's childbirth. It is by far the most dangerous birth process of any mammal on Earth. A foal stands up within an hour. Human babies, completely helpless for months. Add in the fact that 30% of the population has an immune system that aggressively attacks completely harmless stuff like pollen or peanuts, and an internal circadian clock that doesn't perfectly match Earth's 24-hour spin. It's almost like we're calibrated for a totally different environment.
But it gets deeper, because from an evolutionary psychology perspective, this isn't just physical. We are the only animals plagued by existential dread. Look, dogs aren't lying awake stressing about the afterlife. Dolphins don't have existential crises. But humans? We walk around fully aware of our own mortality. And we build entire civilizations, philosophies, and religions just to cope with that terror. From a pure survival standpoint, existential dread gives us zero advantage. If anything, it makes us act almost like an invasive species. Hyper-conscious, constantly unsatisfied, disconnected from the natural ecosystem, and relentlessly modifying our environment just to feel safe.
Section 2. The extraterrestrial hypothesis.
Now, this brings us to the wild theories trying to explain these quirks. And no, this isn't just science fiction. Back in 1973, Francis Crick, yes, the Nobel laureate who literally helped decode the structure of DNA, proposed something astonishing alongside chemist Leslie Orgel. It's called directed panspermia. The guy who decoded life's instruction manual looked at how insanely fast organic chemistry appeared, just 700 million years after Earth was a molten hellscape, and said, wait, the timing here is highly suspicious. He hypothesized that life was deliberately seeded here by an advanced alien civilization.
Fast forward to 2013, and ecologist Dr. Ellis Silver takes this hypothesis even further. He argues that our sunburns, our chronic back pain, and our completely helpless infants aren't just evolutionary mistakes. He posits they are the literal physiological evidence that humans evolved under a different star, perhaps on a planet with lower gravity, and were subsequently dropped onto Earth, a planet we simply weren't built for.
And we have actual modern space research making this panspermia concept entirely plausible. Back in 1969, the Murchison meteorite crashed into Australia carrying over 90 different amino acids. Those are the fundamental building blocks of life, just riding on rocks through the cosmos. And even more mind-blowing? Tardigrades. These microscopic organisms can survive the freezing vacuum and deadly cosmic radiation of deep space. In fact, after a 2019 lunar crash, we probably have dormant tardigrades sitting on the moon right now. Life absolutely can hitch a ride between worlds.
Section 3. Evolutionary Mismatch Theory.
But putting my evolutionary biologist hat back on, we absolutely have to look at the grounded scientific rebuttal here. We treat both sides with equal respect. Mainstream biology has a highly rational, evidence-based answer for almost all of our bizarre traits. It's called evolutionary mismatch. The core idea is simply that evolution moves really slowly. Our traits evolved for an ancient hunter-gatherer environment, and our biology just hasn't had enough generations to fully adapt to the modern world. or even to relatively recent evolutionary leaps like walking purely on two legs. When you compare these concepts head-to-head, it's fascinating. While the alien panspermia thesis says our sunburn means we evolved under a different star, mismatch theory counters that, no, we just traded our protective furs so we could sweat and outrun prey on the scorching African savanna. Sunburn is just the biological tax we pay for that cooling system. What about back pain? We aren't built for alien gravity. Our upright spine is basically a beta prototype that hasn't received its final software update. And the dangers of childbirth? That's known as the obstetric dilemma, a brutal evolutionary compromise between walking efficiently and developing massive, hyper-intelligent brains.
Section 4. The speed of intelligence. However, even mismatch theory hits a massive wall with one seemingly unexplainable anomaly that unites both sides of this debate. It's the one thing that truly keeps the mystery alive: the sheer speed of human cognitive development. Every other intelligent species took tens of millions of years to develop gradually. Dolphins have been around for 50 million years with complex communication, and they haven't built a single tool. Chimpanzees figured out simple sticks about 4 million years ago, and they haven't upgraded their tech since. And then there's us. We went from banging sharpened rocks together to splitting the atom and launching spaceships in what amounts to a geological blink of an eye.
Just let this absurd acceleration sink in for a second. 200 years ago, we hadn't even invented railroads. 125 years ago, human flight was considered physically impossible. 75 years ago, we had never touched the edge of space. And a mere 35 years ago, the internet as we know it did not exist. Literally nothing in the 4 billion-year history of planet Earth has ever accelerated like human technology. It is a straight, vertical line on the graph of history.
Now, evolutionary biologists point to pieces of the puzzle to explain this. We look at the sudden mutation of the FOXP2 gene, which unlocked complex speech and coordination. We look at the discovery of cooking, which essentially pre-digested our food, freeing up massive amounts of calories to rapidly grow our brains. We also look at our unique ability to teach and stack knowledge across generations. But if we are being completely honest, while these are vital pieces, none of them fully explain the unprecedented, explosive speed of our intellectual leap from a vulnerable prey animal to a species capable of running and ruining an entire planet.
Section 5. A cosmic conclusion.
I will leave you with this final thought for this explainer. Asking uncomfortable questions isn't conspiracy, it's just science. Future space exploration might ultimately hold the key to our biological past. As we send rovers to Mars and telescopes to the edge of time, we have to ask ourselves, is human consciousness, with all its existential dread, a strange evolutionary mistake? Or is our relentless drive to explore the cosmos actually a purposeful, subconscious journey to finally figure out where we truly belong? Perhaps our deep, unexplainable cosmic restlessness is the biggest biological clue of all. Keep wondering and keep looking up.